Hi and welcome. This will be a mixed class. So we'll do some vinyasa and then we'll get into some yin. Sometimes it feels really good to do some movement before you hold poses for a long time. I will also break these classes up into two. So if you just want to take the vinyasa, it's all good. If you just want to take the yin, that's fine. So you'll have a vinyasa yin class and then I'll separate the vinyasa and yin. All right. Let's see, we're going to start in down dog. I think you will find this sequence helpful for anxiety, which we could all use a little, calmness in our lives. So with that, you can grab a blanket or two, a bolster, and then of course I always love blocks, which I don't see, so I'll grab them shortly. But go ahead and start in your downward facing dog. I'm also having a little back tightness, and this can feel like a really good low back stretch. So once you're in your dog, you can pedal your feet a bit. I'm going to grab my blocks. Lifting one heel and then the other. Start to tap in to your breath. Spread your fingers nice and wide, little lift up through the tailbone. Now find stillness in your dog, let your head hang. Squeeze the upper back together. And relax your face. Bring your knees down to your mat. Adjust your hands underneath the shoulders and take a few rounds of cat-cow. So inhale, tailbone lifts, chest opens. Exhale, round the spine, press the earth away, let the head hang. Inhale, come up through cow. And then exhale, round. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Stay here, hold the cat pose, really round the spine. Let the head hang, pull the belly up. And then come back, tabletop. Untuck your toes, take your knees together and your forehead down. So arms by the sides, palm faces up. Palms face up. Embryo pose, let the shoulders just get heavy down toward the mat. And set an intention for your practice. What is it that you want to carry with you off your mat today? If nothing comes to mind, take a moment of gratitude for your body that can move and can practice, whatever level you think you are, and then also gratitude for our breath. It's good to be alive. Okay, hands come back forward, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look ahead. And then little steps, hops, or big steps, fold at the top of the mat. My back's nice and tight this morning, so I'm going to grab my block. So feet hips width distance, second toes are parallel. In your forward fold, nice juicy stretch, backs of the legs, let the head just hang. Energy coming down through the crown of the head all the way to the earth. Take your thumbs to the tops of the thighs, squeeze the upper back muscles together, and then come on up all the way, standing. Settle into the mat. Feel the feet touch down to the earth. You could close the eyes, just let the arms hang, palms turn in. Open the eyes, inhale, reach your arms up. You could take a tiny back bend here, lifting up from the sternum, stretching the arms long, gaze is up. And then exhale, come to your fold, hands to blocks is all good, or touching down to the mat. Bend the knees as deeply as you can so that the hands release to your mat. Step back, down dog. Inhale, rock forward, plank. Exhale, bring your knees down, belly and chest. Untuck the toes, legs wide. Bring some length to the side body, lift the armpits up to the ears, and then squeeze the upper back muscles. Cobra. So draw the belly in, but let the heart pour through. Elbows can be nice and wide as well as the legs. Try to relax the buttocks a bit. Inhale. Exhale, come back down. Tucking toes, downward dog. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, and then make your way all the way, fold. We're down into the feet, thumbs to the tops of the thighs, press the thighs back, and then come back up, nice flat back. Tadasana. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold. Walk your hands forward, inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, release the hands down, plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, knees, belly, and chest come down. Untuck the toes. Lift the chest, cobra. Come all the way back down, dog. Lift the heels, inhale. Bend the knees, exhale, look forward, make your way all the way top of the mat, fold. Down into the feet, thumbs to the hip creases, and then all the way up. Nice flat back. Tadasana. One more. Inhale, reach up, look up, maybe a little back bend. And then exhale, hinge at the hips, press your thighs back, fold. Walk your hands forward on this one, nice long spine, reach to the crown. And then exhale, release the hands down, bend the knees, step back, plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower to the belly, knees might come down. Untuck toes, legs wide, lengthen through the side body, head to arm bones, roll up and back. Come back down, down dog. Lift the heels, bend the knees, look ahead, and make your way. Forward fold, top of the mat. Down into the feet and reach all the way up to the sky, palms touch. Hands in front of the heart, exhale. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold. Step your right foot way back, back heel comes down, warrior one, front knee bends, arms reach up. Outer left thigh draws back, relax the shoulders. Nice hip opening in the front of the right hip. Palms come together, reach the arms up, draw the belly in. Inhale, look up, bend the front knee. And then exhale, take your hands all the way down, lift your back heel, step down dog. Notice the difference between the sides. Inhale, lift heels. Exhale, bend knees, look ahead. And then make your way, fold. Next inhale, left foot steps back, back heel down, front knee bends. Reach your arms all the way up. Outer right hip shifts back. Palms might come together. Reach up, look up, little back bend. And then hands come all the way down, lift your back heel, step back, down dog. Lift your left leg up. And then step your foot through your hands. Bring your back foot up so that both feet are down. From here, pyramid, so you'll straighten your front leg, grab your blocks if you need. We want to take a rounding out of the low back. So if I'm going for the mat, I'm not open enough in my low back. And you'll see that I'm rounding here. So we want to bring the natural curve back into the spine. I can only get there by bringing the floor to me and then taking a little arch in the low back. So that's the natural alignment we want to stick with here. Let the head hang. Put some weight into the big toe mounds, lifting the pinky toe, keeping your muscles strong as you stretch the backs of the legs. Notice if you're clenching your jaw at all. And soften your face. Walk your hands forward. Keep your right hand on your block or the mat, left hand to left thigh. Take the thumb, press the outer left hip back, and then roll the left shoulder like up. Now twist from the pelvis. So let the right side of the pelvis turn in to the midline first, and then the left arm reaches up. The arm is the afterthought. So if we let and lead with the pelvis, then we get much more opening into the chest, taking a really nice, solid, open twist, or it's still a closed twist, but open arms. And then take your left hand down, bend both knees, plant the hands, round the upper back, use your core, step back, down dog. On the next inhale, step your right foot forward, back foot comes down, straighten the front leg, pyramid. Make sure you're not on a tightrope. So you don't want the feet lined up front to back. You want them hips width distance apart. Back foot faces forward and the entirety of the soles of both feet are on the mat. Keep some pressure into your big toe mound, lifting the pinky toe, let the head hang. Relax your jaw. Ujjayi breaths. Now extend the spine nice and long. Right thumb, top of right thigh. Press that back. Let the front of the left hip turn in. Keep a little arch in the spine. Reach long through the crown. And then maybe take the right arm up. Lifting the shoulder toward the armpit. Sorry, toward the ear. And then right side opens, opens, opens. Right hand comes down, back heel lifts, forward fold. Let that side go. From here, step your right foot way back. So your left knee's forward, come on up, crescent lunge. Hands come in front of the heart. So first, let's just start by turning the torso to the left for your twist. Back knee can lift, And the heel presses back in a nice long stance here. Option to wedge the elbow outside the knee, press the palms together, thumbs together, draw them to your sternum. And then you're pressing through the back heel and reaching through the crown. Gaze can be up or down, arms can open or stay here. Take your hands down to the mat, step forward, fold. Notice the difference between the sides. Step your left foot way back. Reach your arms up, high lunge, crescent lunge, bend your front knee. Lift your back. Draw the belly in. Hands in front of the heart. Shift forward. And then you can wedge, take a nice deep twist or stay high in the twist. Press the thumbs together. Pressing through the back heel, also reaching through the crown, letting the front of the left side of the pelvis turn in to continue to open up the chest. Arms can open or stay here. Hands come down to the mat. Little steps or one big one, fold. Let your head hang. Take the thumbs to the hip creases, squeeze the upper back together, and come all the way up. Feet hips width distance apart. Close the eyes, settle into the feet. We want to stay receptive to the practice and present in our body. Come back to the intention that you set. In the beginning of class, let that inspire you in the next few poses. Okay, open the eyes. I'm going to step back a little bit as we work on some standing balance. So shifting the weight to the left leg, take your hands to your hips and bend to your right knee. Now bend both knees and lift your right one. Now cross the thigh over the other one, knee stack or thigh stack. You're setting up for eagle legs, so you can have the foot here as a kickstand, or you'll wrap it around the calf and then the toes point down. You can kind of have that pressure of the top of the foot into the calf muscle. Right outer hip shifts back. Press your pubic bone down and back. That'll bring a little arch into the low back. Arms reach out nice and long. Right arm underneath the left. Palms touch. Fingers shoot up. Elbows might lift. Draw them forward. Stretch the upper back. Take your chin down. Bend the knees as deeply as you can. Squeeze the legs strong to the midline. And then straighten the legs. Undo the arms, reach up, palms touch. Hands in front of the heart. Arms at the sides. Hands at the hips. So now you'll lift your left heel up. Bend both knees, sit the hips back. Awesome. Take your left leg over the right, stacking thighs and knees, toes point down, outer left hip shifts back. Arms out, nice and wide. And then the left arm scoops underneath the right. Fingertips reach up. Upper back opens. Chin can tuck. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze legs together. Press the pubic bone back and breathe. Good, straighten the arm or legs, undo the arms, and release. Okay, shifting the weight now back into your left leg, bending the knees or bending the right knee, hands to hips. Lift the right knee, And then you're going to turn. So you're probably doing the opposite leg. That's correct. You want to stick with that. So your right knee is lifted. And then open the knee up to the right. Squeeze the left buttock, suck in the hip, and make sure that your knee is stacked right over the ankle. Okay, then use your hands, draw the foot in to the upper thigh, calf, or use the foot as a little kickstand, palms together at the heart. Squeeze the left buttocks, equal pressure, standing leg to foot, foot back to thigh. Maybe reach your arms up. Definitely fix your gaze on something that's not moving. And you can reach really tall and long. Maybe take your gaze up. Bring your palms back down in front of the heart. Lift your knee and step the foot down. Let that go. Shifting weight to the right. So you still have the alignment where the second toe is facing forward at 12 o'clock. Hands at the hips. Left knee lifts. Come straight out from the hips. Squeeze the buttocks on the right. Open the knee to the left and then bring the foot inside the thigh or calf. Toes point down. Hands to the heart. Nice solid trunk here. If things get a little bit windy, it's all good. You adjust and move. Being flexible in your mind leads to flexibility in the body. Reach your arms up. Squeeze the upper arms to the ears. Draw the belly in, breathe. Option to take the gaze up. And bring your hands back in front of the chest. Lift your left knee and step the foot down. You can shake that out if needed. Okay, come back to hips width distance at the top of the mat. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold. My low back does not like me today. Very tight. So anxiousness, being stressed, overwhelmed shows up in my back. So just pay attention to where you hold the stress in your body. Could be the jaw, neck, migraines, low back, shoulders. All of those, maybe they switch. Bring awareness to those areas and breathe into them. Give them some love. And then heel toe your feet out nice and wide on the mat. Bend the knees and take the tailbone down. Take the elbows inside of the knees and press them back. Nice tall spine. You can always come up, or I might even sit on a block today just to give my low back a little love. Knees nice and wide. Spine is tall. Breath is mandatory. Good. Take the hands down, straighten the legs, lift the booty, and heel toe the feet back together. So now you'll want your, let's scoot my feet back a little bit. Take your block, so it's about 10 inches in front of your right pinky toe. Just humor me and start with a block. Of course, I don't know if you are or not, or use a thick book. And then pinky toe lines up with the inner side of the block. Keep the arch in the back and your left hand on your left hip. Now, bend the right knee. You're just going to lean to the right a little bit and take your left leg back behind you, toes point down to start. Your hip will start opening. It's all good. Now take half moon. So you're going to open the left hip, flexing the ankle of the foot that's in the air and kicking the leg forward. Right buttock squeeze, carving the right sits bone toward the tailbone. Upper back squeezing together, left leg lifting up. So you want one long line of energy coming from the lifted heel all the way through the crown of the head. It should be a nice diagonal line. And then take the left hand back down, maybe a block, turn your left hip down and fold. I felt that mostly, it's really working my foot and ankle today. Okay. Now the left block is forward about 10 inches from the pinky toe. And your left hand stays rooted on the block, arch the back. Take your right hand to the right hip, bend your left knee, and then kick your right leg back behind you. The right hip is going to open. Go ahead, let that happen. Kick the top foot forward, and then carve the left sits bone toward the tail. Lift the right leg back up. Squeeze the upper back muscles together. Right arm reaches up, squeeze, 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 open the heart. Take your gaze up or down. Right hand comes down, turn the right hip down, and then forward fold. Bend the knees and untuck your toes. Okay, good. So now you can just remove the blocks. We're going to take toes pose now. So go ahead and spread the toes nice and wide. I usually like to do this toward the beginning of practice, but right now, most of us take our practice, we go on and do lots of things. Or maybe it's the morning and you don't really want to start with toes pose right out the gate. So we'll just add it here. You can always be forward. This is really intense. Or you could just softly sit down on the heels, add that little pressure. Let the toes spread apart. And the heels are not turning out or in, they're still facing up. You're breathing. Stick with me. One more inhale. Stick out the tongue. Lion. Come forward. You can take the knees back if you need to. Untuck the toes, pedal out the feet. Now sit back on the heels. Knees are toward each other. Hands are back. You can lift the armpits up toward the ears and then take the head of the arm bones way back, open the heart. Press down into the tops of the feet, lift the knees, nice stretch. For the front of the feet, could also feel like you have a lot of sensation here. So just honor where you're at. Come back down to the knees and make your way to a seat. So that concludes the Vinyasa portion of our class. And now we will switch to yin. So for our yin class today, it's recommended that you don't typically use a ton of props. That's more of a restorative practice. But I always like to have them handy just in case I'm feeling a little bit too tight. And I kind of feel like that today. So I'm going to have these blocks available, blankets and bolster. So just decide what you need. And we're going to start in a seated pose. And in yin, it's called butterfly. You might know it in Vinyasa as Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. So we do want the, like, you can tell how tight someone's back is and hips by how high the knees are. This is not typically where I'm at in my practice, but today I'm just going to be humble about the fact that my shit hurts right now. Like, it just hurts. So I'm going to grab these blankets and give myself a really nice, some really nice height here. You do not have to do that. I'm just going to be a little bit more mindful in this practice. So sits bones are heavy, pubic bone presses down, soles of feet are together, and then you really want the balls of the feet touching so that the toes, which you can't see, are like you're flointing, or sorry, it would be this, soles of feet together and then peeling back the toes. So the toes are nice and active. Then from here, hinge at the hips, bow forward. You can grab on to the feet and then just let the head hang. You can also have your hands out here in front. Relax your face and your jaw. Breathe into the groins, hips, and low back. Notice if you're holding tension in the face, the jaw. Let the eyes close. If you are super flexible in the hips, you can take your feet onto a blanket or a block and then take your fold. You can also just try that even if the hips are up on the blanket. It kind of hits a different spot in the outer hips. So depending on what you're looking for, you might try that. Inhale deeply. Exhale, release. And come back up. Whatever version you took, remove a block or blanket if they're under your feet. Take your feet hips width distance apart and then take the knees side to side. Good. Sweep your feet around. And we're going to come to tabletop position. I'm going to go ahead and bring the blanket here for a deeper stretch. We're going to move into heart melting pose, melting heart pose, puppy pose. So you keep your hips stacked over the knees, and then you really try and arch the back, lifting the tailbone. Options: reaching arms forward. They totally don't have to be on a blanket. Resting the elbows down and then melting the heart through, forehead down or chin. Your arms do not have to be on a blanket. And that would look like this. You can keep the elbows lifted, you can keep the elbows down, or you might even cross the forearms. Once you've found the pose, stay and breathe. Keep a lift up through the tailbone. Stretch your arms nice and long, turning the armpits down. And relax your jaw. When your mind leaves the room, bring it back to the breath. Breathe through sensation. Inhale. Exhale. Slide the left hand back, followed by the right, so that the hands are underneath the shoulders. Okay, so now take the knees, slide them up, and come to a seat. We're going to come into a seated straddle or dragonfly pose, which is called Indian. I'm going to sit up on the blanket, take your legs nice and wide. Definitely do not go to 100% on the legs being open. Come back maybe to like 60 or 70 so you have a place to go. Spine sits up nice and tall. Back draws in. You could take your right hand to the outside of the thigh, grab the hammies and like take them back. I'm gonna grab my bolster just to give my back a little break. So you can do this. And let the head hang. You can let the shoulders fall. Close the eyes. And let the jaw soften. Let your legs be rooted down and heavy into the mat. Upper body is soft. Breathe through sensation. Big breath in. Exhale. And come back up. Go ahead, bend the knees. Bring the feet back in. Soles. Feet can be hips width distance apart, and then knees side to side. We're going to set up now for pigeon. I am going to take this bolster and put it long ways on the right side of my mat. It's going to allow my hip to kind of rest there, not jumping into the hip, but I'll show you what I mean. So hands can come down. You could start in down dog. Then take your right knee toward the right wrist. This is where you're going to adjust the bolster or blankets if you have it. The toe or the foot is pointed and the back toes are tucked. I'm going to open the right knee even more to the right, and my buttocks is on the bolster. Then you decide how much you want to come down. Come down to forearms or rest your head down on a block or your blankets. Lift the right hip a little bit. Keep the foot pointed on that right side. Walking your left knee back, toes are tucked. Let your chest be heavy. Inhale. Exhale. Slide the hands back underneath the shoulders. Now lift your back knee, and then you're going to step back to dog for transition. Notice the difference between the sides. Slide the bolster over, or the blankets if you're using it, to the left, and then you'll take your left knee to the left wrist. So now I've got the bolster set up under the buttocks, not to rest into it, but just more as like a little loving support. Right knee slides back, and then we keep the hips lifted a little bit. Relax the head. And let yourself just be really heavy down into the mat, but keeping a little lift in the hips. If your mind wanders, just bring your attention back to your breath. A few more rounds, slow, steady breath. Inhale. Exhale. And slide the hands underneath the shoulders. This time you'll just sit off to the left side and swing the legs forward. I'm going to get the bolster back and come down to your seat. Come all the way down to your back. Draw the knees in to the chest. And take your feet down onto the mat. And then take the knees off to the left. So I'm keeping my feet hips width distance. I'm just taking them off to the left. And then take the knees back through center and off to the right side. Now take the knees back through center. So you'll either come back to this twist with the gaze going to the right, or you'll take your left leg long on the mat and bring your right knee in to the chest. Then Take the right knee, cross it all the way over your body to the left. So the right hip is off the mat. From here, you can bend the left knee and grab for the foot with the right hand. And then kind of shimmy the shoulder blades back together. And take your gaze to the right. And the right knee might lift, it's all good. And if it's too intense with the foot, you just release the left foot, bring the right knee over, and unwind. Gaze to the right. Because my back is so tight, you'll see it just wants to be here. And I'm going to allow that to happen and just let everything open up naturally. Inhale. Exhale. Release the foot if you have it and make your way back to your back. Both knees come into the chest. And then they'll come off to the right for your easy twist, or take the feet down, right leg long, left knee draws in. Good. And then take it over the body. To the right, you might bend the left knee and reach for the foot. And then gaze might go to the left. Upper back heavy and rooted. Gaze can be to the left or straight up. Inhale. Exhale. Straighten your right leg, come back to the back. Low back is down, knees draw in. Knees toward the armpits, hands on the shins. Stay here or take happy baby. I'm not going to do that. So you can just have the knees draw in. You can rock your baby a little side to side. Good. Then draw the knees into the chest. Your options to end the practice are legs up the wall or make your way to Shavasana. I'm going to cover up with a blanket, and you can always have some of your props set up here. Take the knees on the bolster. And then bring the blanket on you, whatever you have. You could always have an eye pillow. And just let the legs and the feet fall open, take up lots of space on your mat. You could take your arms out to the side or up above the head. You could do the same if your legs are straight up. Relax your face. And settle in. Looking to drop in quickly to stillness. Take a scan from the toes all the way up through the crown and just notice, where can you send your breath? Or can you heal discomfort? And come back to the moment. Feel free to stay as long as you need. Otherwise, start to deepen your breath. A little movement in fingers and toes. And then fold your palms together so they're right in front of your face, thumbs to third eye center. Thank you so much for practicing today. Namaste.